I remember the funeral in pieces. Not as a whole day, but as scattered impressions. The cold metal of the folding chair under my legs. The smell of white lilies that made my head ache. My father standing 2 rows ahead of me, perfectly still. Someone waiting for a bus rather than burying his wife. He didn't cry. I told myself everyone grieves differently. I told myself that meant nothing. After the service, people hugged me and said my mother would be proud of me. My father shook hands like he was at a business meeting. When someone mentioned the house, he nodded once, already certain it belonged to him. At the time, I still thought we were a family. For a few weeks after, I stayed in my old room, had changed physically. My books were still on the shelf. Her scarf still hung on the door. But everything felt temporary. I was living in a hotel that could ask me to leave at any moment. My father stopped asking how I was sleeping, stopped eating with me. He spoke in short, practical sentences. Bills are due. I'll handle that. Don't touch the documents in my study. One evening, while I was reheating leftovers, he stood in the doorway and watched me for a long time. I thought he was about to say something kind. Instead, he said, "You need to find another place." I laughed softly because I thought he was joking. He wasn't. "You're an adult," he continued, "not responsible for you anymore." I asked him why. My voice sounded smaller than I expected. He looked at me with something close to irritation. "This is my house. Your mother is gone. Things are different." Then he added, quietly, "Find somewhere else to die. Your mom isn't here to protect you anymore." He said it without anger, without drama, was reminding me to return library books. I packed that night. I didn't cry while folding my clothes. I cried later, on a friend's couch, staring at the ceiling, trying to understand how a sentence could erase 20 years of family. For weeks, lived between borrowed spaces. A mattress on the floor, a spare key that wasn't really mine. Avoided mirrors because I didn't recognize the person in them, someone who had been discarded so easily. At night, reread my mother's old messages. "Did you eat? Call me when you get home. I'm proud of you." Started wondering if I had imagined her love, if maybe I had been a burden all along. The idea that I didn't deserve more became comfortable. Dangerous, but familiar. One afternoon, while sorting through documents I had taken in a hurry, I found an envelope from the law firm handling my mother's estate. Unopened. My name was on it. I had assumed everything went to my father. He had said so. Everyone had. Stared at the envelope for a long time before opening it. Inside was a simple notice: "If you have questions regarding the will, please contact our office." I almost threw it away. Calling felt like betraying him, like asking for something I wasn't entitled to, admitting I wasn't strong enough to disappear quietly. But curiosity won. I called. The receptionist transferred me to the attorney. His voice was polite, tired, routine. He asked for my name. Then he paused. "Have you read the will?" he asked. "No," I said. There was another pause, a different one. "You should come in," he said. As soon as possible. His office was small and bright and smelled faintly of coffee. He skimmed a file, adjusted his glasses, and finally looked at me. Then he laughed, not mockingly, more like someone who had just realized a joke had been played on the wrong person. "You even read the will?" he repeated, shaking his head. "No," I said again. My father said everything was settled. The lawyer turned the folder toward me. My mother's handwriting was on the first page. She had left most of the estate, our house, the investment accounts, nearly everything, in a trust. For me, my father was granted limited access, conditional, temporary. He could live in the house. He could not sell it. He did not own it. He had known. My mother had anticipated this. She had written a separate letter attached to the will. In it, she said she loved me, that she worried about what would happen after she was gone, that she wanted me to be safe, even from people who might forget how to love. 3 times before I could breathe, the lawyer sent formal notice that week. No threats, no speeches, just paper. Dates, clauses, signatures, authority delivered in envelopes. When my father called me, his voice was unsteady. "You went behind my back," he said. "I went to a lawyer," I replied. "That was my money." "It wasn't." Silence stretched between us. "What I had to," he finally said. "So did she?" I answered. "We met once in the lawyer's office. He looked smaller there. No walls to claim, no rooms to dominate. When the attorney explained the terms, my father's face drained of color. His confidence folded inward, like paper crushed in a fist. He didn't argue. There was nothing left to argue with. Legally, regained access to the house. Financially, I was secure. Emotionally, nothing was restored. He moved out within months. We stopped speaking. Sometimes I walk through the living room and still see him standing there, telling me to leave. Sometimes I hear my mother's voice instead. Justice did not give me back a father. It gave me something quieter. Stability. Proof. The knowledge that I had never been disposable. I live alone now, not lonely, just independent in a way I wasn't allowed to be before. Some nights, when the house is silent, I sit with the complicated truth. Love can fail, but dignity doesn't have to.